Hi everyone, and welcome to the Canadian Redneck Channel. My name's Dave, and today we are going to be repairing an oil pump in preparation for our bulldozer engine rebuild. And figured this was a good opportunity. We'll do this as a separate video because this is a common problem with these oil pumps in your 113, 123, 135 engines in the internationals. This one, when I look, I can see some gaps at the gasket area, and what happens is this aluminum plate on the bottom, they tend to warp. So I will show you how to repair that problem. I'll get a camera set up so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is remove the sump screen out of the way, and it's held in place with a cotter pin right through here. So we will straighten up the legs of that. And then that screen just slides right out. And then we'll take the bottom off the pump body. And something to be aware of when you're taking the bottom off, it's under spring pressure right here. It has a relief valve in there to relieve excess pressure. You can see on the bottom of the pump body where the gasket was blown out through the side here, and it would be losing oil pressure. Certainly could have contributed to the engine failure, the crank failure that we experienced with the bulldozer engine. With the bottom off, we'll inspect the pump, make sure everything looks like it's supposed to, and everything in the pump body appears to be alright. We'll have to clean the gasket surfaces before we put anything back together there. But next we move on to the base plate. So we'll peel the old gasket off of here and just clean off the surface a little bit, make sure it's cleaned up. Yeah, and it's got high and low spots. Ideally you would have this milled out flat again, but I don't have a machine to do that with, so I'm going to use a trick that a fellow tractor restorer showed me. Take a piece of glass, because glass is a nice flat smooth surface, and you take a piece of fine grit sandpaper. This is 320, and you want a wet dry sandpaper because you're going to coat it in oil. You want to use like a light oil, like a cutting oil. I've got some air tool oil here, so that's what I'm going to use. And just give it a coat of oil. Spread that around on the sandpaper. And then you just set your workpiece down flat on that. I'm going to put a little oil on the window because that kind of helps the sandpaper stick. It tends to sit flat, and you can see some shiny spots already where it's starting to polish and smooth things up. You can see where it's polishing up. You want to stop and check on it periodically as you go, because you want to get everything so it's just smooth and shiny all the way across. And so you can see where it was higher and where we got to polish off to get everything smooth. So you know, you can see you're making progress. And like I said, you just stop and check every so often, and keep polishing until it's right. Okay, you can see we've got it down now. There's a couple of little small spots left, but you can also see that the new gasket covers those spots up, so it's going to seal okay, and it'll take a lot of sanding to get those last couple of little spots out. The relief valve spring that I was talking about fits in here and goes into this little plunger here, and so it's a good idea to check that out and clean it up while you're doing this. Make sure that it moves freely so that it can actually work if it needs to. Before the plunger goes back in, I'm going to coat it with oil. Make sure that it's going to move freely. Now you got to make sure you get all the residue from the sanding cleaned out of this before you put it back on. Place our gasket on carefully. Spring. The kit comes with 2 gaskets to get your clearance set. So I'm starting with 1 gasket so I can check it out here. Yeah, that feels good, runs nice and free. So we have our oil pump prepared. All in all, it took about an hour, at least an hour of sanding. And a lot of people right now are asking, well, why bother, right? Why not just buy a new oil pump? And normally I would agree, it's a good idea to buy a new oil pump when you're rebuilding an engine. Cheap insurance. But in this case, you just can't buy them. They're not available anywhere, that I've found anyway. So this is a way to save a part that otherwise could cause an engine failure. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video on repairing oil pump. Thanks for watching. Please, like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. And as always, have a great day.